Michael Carnevale is branch manager and financial advisor. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated, 400 Southbridge Street in Auburn, Massachusetts, 1-800-657-9126. A member of FINRA SIPC and are not deposits, not insured by FDIC or any governmental agency, not guaranteed by Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank, and subject to risk, may lose value. Webster 5 Cent Savings Bank is not affiliated with Raymond James Financial Services Incorporated. The information contained in this report does not purport to be a complete description of the securities markets or developments referred to in the material. The information has been obtained from sources considered to be reliable, but we do not guarantee that the foregoing material is accurate or complete. Any information is not a complete summary or statement of all available data necessary for making an investment decision and does not constitute a recommendation. Any opinions are those of Michael Carnevale and not necessarily those of RJFS or Raymond James. Expressions of opinion are as of this date and are subject to change without notice.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's time, once again, for the Long Hill Report, April edition. The May edition, reporting on April. I'm Richard Morco, your host, and our expert here, Mike Carnevale, is going to set us straight on what's happening in the world of finance. But first, there is a lot of news that has happened since last month. We're at war without being at war or something. President Trump has announced Operation Epic Fury is over. But nothing's kind of really happening. So anyway, he announced we were going to have Project Freedom, where he would escort, or our Navy would escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. It kind of almost happened, but then our allies in Saudi Arabia and Kuwait said, wait a minute, Iran could hit us back, and that wouldn't be good. Project Freedom is over. What's happening? It's on pause. Supposedly he had a 14-point agreement coming, and we'd have peace from that. Turns out that's kind of a joke. And little Marco, well, that was the name he had for
during the campaign.
Marco Rubio,
2016.
In 2016, is a little out of the loop on that one. But what's our goal? To open the Strait of Hormuz. Wait a minute. Before the Trump started this war, it was open. So the whole goal is to just get back to status quo ante. Why is nobody suggesting a 25th Amendment, which is saying the guy's loopy and taking him out? Why is nobody suggesting impeachment? And the guy is, I want to be charitable. I think he's might be having dementia, and it's not his fault. But I mean, you can see it. It's so obvious that something is wrong. Now, I flunked out of med school in the first grade, so I can't speak to it. But it's obvious somebody's got to see something wrong.
Well, I play a doctor on TV, so I'm qualified.
There you go. He plays a doctor on TV, and certainly I trust this guy. Kinda. Anyway, so...
But you're right. We're really, the goal now is to get back to where we were.
Yeah.
Which...
all you had to do was do nothing.
How much money has this cost us?
Well, I know I had the pleasure of $4.24 in Cumbies for gas yesterday.
Yeah.
So it turns out today we're hearing he's all of a sudden again demanding unconditional surrender. This came just after a phone call with the Prime Minister of Israel. Mm-hmm. Something's not working out.
And then about an hour or so ago, Iran turned down that proposal.
Well, they were never going to take it. Oh,
shocking, yes.
wicked shocker.
Yes.
As they say in Boston.
Breaking news, Iran
Breaking
has
news.
rejected the proposal.
So, ladies and gentlemen, let's keep watching for that $5 a gallon gas here.
It's starting to go up. It used to be going up by a few cents every day. Now it's going up by 5 to 10 cents a day. This week has been particularly bad.
I'm tired of going along the street picking up cans just so I can fill my tank. This has got to stop, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
But fortunately, we have our expert here, and he's going to tell us about this month is actually, he's liking it.
Well, it's
I'm not hating it too much.
no liking it, loving it actually, shall I say? We don't want to go beyond that, but
No, I wouldn't.
right. But it's really a tale of two worlds right now. Between 9:30 and 4, that's when the stock market is open. Everything's great. Between 4:01 and overnight, everything is not so great because we return to the real world at that time, as I like to say. And we just talked for 5 minutes about the real world.
Wait a
which is
minute.
Not that good.
I thought the stock market was the real world.
No, it's make believe.
It's all make-believe?
All make believe.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, when your stocks take a dive, it's not real.
It's not real. But, historically, April ranks as the best month of the year. And, going into April, those technical indicators really were heavily indicating potentially a tremendous month. And lo and behold, it didn't disappoint. Recent history, 16 of the last 20 Aprils have been positive, but the last 2 were down. This April, 3,320 point Dow gain, 7.1%. Now, we would take 7% for a year. We'd say that's a good year. 7.1% happened in the month of April. And we're very close to that $50,000 point mark on the Dow.
Okay.
And it was the best April since 2020.
That's it. In the sense of a rise from the previous month, or just wonderful?
March was really bad.
Yeah.
Those technical indicators were horrendous,
Okay.
leading you to think there's got to be a rebound pretty close, because the short-term sentiment indicator, which can range from +5, meaning the best, to -5, meaning the worst, was +4 at the end of March. Doesn't get much better than that. And sure enough, just like clockwork, like a Hollywood script, it came to pass. A tremendous April.
Now I understand what you mean when you say it's not the real world.
Yep.
Ah,
It's just like, the hand-wringing in March, things are really bad. This oil, gas, all this other stuff, I'm getting out. Just as the technical indicators were saying, hey, wait a minute, things are really good right now. You probably should stay in. And unbelievably, it worked like, 7.1% gain in a month, that's unheard of.
unheard of?
Yeah, in a month, for a month.
Really? Since
Yeah.
you've been,
Yeah.
That is interesting.
When I looked at the numbers, I had to look like not twice, but 3 times to make sure that that was right.
When are you going back to the eye doctor?
I got an appointment in October.
Okay.
But 7.1 in a month.
And that's never happened before.
It's happened, coming out of the Great Depression and coming out of the
So you got to have something bad to get something good,
yes,
is what you're saying.
73, 74
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
period. Also happened coming out of 08, 09 and the financial crisis. But that's 3 times in almost 100 years. 3 times 12 months times 100 years doesn't happen that often.
Gotcha.
But it was tremendous.
One happy lad here.
And, you know, we're not complaining.
Okay.
But that does not jive with what's going on in the real world,
The real
with
world, yeah.
inflation, with
Yeah.
Ukraine, with Iran, with you know, China, with all these other places. So you know, it's a little bit of a fantasy island of
Well,
Wall Street.
I send out something, a package to people every now and then. To send this package in one of those padded envelopes, up until the last time I sent it, it was $12.85. Insured, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Overnight, it went up to $14 for to send it. That's wild inflation.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And we will see in the inflation numbers that hasn't hit yet.
It hasn't hit yet.
No.
May not have hit you, buddy, but it hit me.
The April inflation numbers come out the middle of May, and
Middle of May.
that's when we probably will see the first full effect of what you just talked about.
Okay. All right. So it's still time for your slogan. Sell in May and go away and come back on Halloween Day.
Yep. We're in that period again, and it's interestingly to know that the October to April time period historically is 2.5 times better returns than the May to October period.
So,
So we
lady,
are entering a weak period now, the next 6 months, historically. Most of the gains happen in the fall and the winter, not in the spring and the summer.
I heard that before. Is there any rationale behind that you know of?
Yeah. I mean, you know,
Or you just recite things? You know?
uh,
Anything real?
there's no
No
original.
real.
There's nothing. You should have a flashing sign. Nothing original here. It's all, you know, a compilation of
What?
other people have.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doing no original studies or anything.
No.
No. Okay. I want to make that clear because I thought maybe you think that this was all original.
Oh my gosh!
No.
You know,
No.
talk about having faith shattered.
No,
here.
no, no, no. I'm an imposter. No,
Right, the
you know,
imposter.
there's theories why this happens.
You just don't know.
You know
Well, you have a task for the next month.
what?
You have a task for the next month.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think a lot of it is, you know, trading volume is down in the summer months,
Yeah.
so that leads to not a lot of buying and selling. People tend to get more, institutions tend to get more serious, you know, after Labor Day, and that's when they're doing the buying or the rearranging, so there's more activity. But there really is no, you know, hard and fast explanation other than it's coincidence, but it happens.
Okay.
So if the next 6 months nothing happens, and the way I look at all these things, these Wall Street sayings, these technical indicators, these are sort of like, you know, a guide. So if nothing happens in the next 6 months, you don't get all excited because historically nothing happens in the next 6 months.
So you're basically saying these could be statements made by a woman who's been married for 75 years. They're old wives' tales.
Could be.
Okay. I didn't say, you know, that's.
Could be, although these were studies done by various investment companies and economists. Well, maybe not much better than old wives' tales, we don't know, but seems to work out. So, and again, I don't think anybody says, oh, you know, May 1st, sell out of everything. No, it's more or less, okay, we're getting to a time period which is historically not favorable. So if nothing really happens positively, you don't really get too excited.
Could also turn it around and say it's probably not the time to just go out and start buying.
Right.
Okay.
You know, maybe ease in over the next 2 or 3 months, 4 months, rather than dump the money in all at once. You know,
So thinking about next month, we can look at the technicals. And
we can.
I don't know even why we're even continuing here, ladies and gentlemen. He's already laid it out that we should just sell and go away, but we'll look at the technicals anyway.
For those that don't have a place to go away
Yeah.
to, or don't want to go away and they like to stay at home or local, we can take a look at the short-term indicators.
Good idea.
Big deterioration. You would expect it after a massive gain like we had in April. We went from +4 now to -2. So +4 is a point below the best reading of +5. -2 is kind of in between neutral and really negative, you know, 0 to 5. The midpoint there is 2.5, and the indicator is down 2. So I don't think, if I didn't look at any of the indicators, but just looked at that composite number, my bet would be May is probably going to do not much. Maybe it'll be up a little bit, down a little bit, but nothing dramatic.
Okay. So nothing dramatic. So
Nothing dramatic.
We can't expect a big gain from everything you said, but not a big drop either.
Right. I don't think there'll be a big gain, and I don't think there'll be a big decline. And that's witnessed by these technical indicators, which, you know, have definitely tilted now toward sort of what is known as a resting period. The Fed met on interest rates, voted 11 to 1 to make no change. Powell's last appearance as the chairman, although he said he's staying on at least for a while. He could stay on until the end of 2028.
I think he's probably thinking about that. Goodbye, Mr. Trump.
Yes, I think that's probably likely. That's probably a good thing that he stays on.
What are you expecting from Mr. Warsh?
Well, it's interesting. The president nominated and got approved this one Fed governor, Myron. Every vote he's been on, he's voted to cut rates. The vote this month, or in April, was 11 to 1 to make no change. Again, he was the one who said cut rates. But I think there's a difference between Warsh and Mirren.
Well, Warsh has been touted as a cut guy, hasn't he?
He is, but I don't think he's going to blindly follow what Trump says. Warsh would be the richest, the most wealthy Fed chairman in history. A lot of this is because of his wife. She is a descendant on the Estee Lauder cosmetics.
Okay.
So, you know, billions of dollars of worth. So I don't think he's going to be doing exactly what the president wants him to do,
Well,
which is cut. And even if he is a cut person, he's one vote.
yeah.
So they got Mirren, they got him, so they got 2 out of it, but you got 12 people voting.
But he's nominated to be the chairman.
Right.
And that's a big position where you get a lot more influence than just being a governor.
Mm-hmm.
So,
However,
but I think there's enough sentiment there that I'm guessing, of course, that people will say, hey, we're not in a place to go wild.
well, right, it was interesting that although the vote was 11 to 1 to make no cuts, there was a second vote, and that was 8 to 4 to move away from talking about cutting, meaning there are 4 people on the voting board, and you know who they are because it's announced. They said, no, we're taking that. The next move is a cut out of the minutes. So that's sending a signal to wash that, you know, you're not going to come in here and just because you want rate cuts, we're all going to agree with you. Usually that vote on direction is unanimous. In fact, this 4 dissenting votes on direction was the most, I think, in over 30 years. So that definitely sent a message
Okay.
that, you know, just because the Senate's going to approve you and you're going to step in on May 15th doesn't mean we're all going to fall in line and say, oh yeah, cut rates every time.
And of course, what his wife says has some weight.
Will
there.
have some weight, yes, absolutely.
All right, so interest rates, no change. Basic Bank of England, Canada, European Central Bank. Nothing heard from by anybody else.
No one else met, although today Norway met, and they are now the first European country to raise interest rates. They raised their short-term interest rate by 0.25% today.
Was there any rationale behind that? Or
The economic effect of what's going on in the Middle East, they said, is definitely going to lead to higher inflation, and that rather than wait, they said rather than wait to see that, they decided to step in and raise rates. That's the first European country to do that. So you can see things are starting to, we saw what the Fed did with the 4 dissenters on direction. Now we see what Norway's just did today. This is kind of moving in that direction.
all right, oil fell to 85 from 100 a barrel.
Yeah, this is, that was as of the end of April,
Okay.
but it's back to close to 100 today.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Very, very day to day. Oil production did rise. Drilling rigs also rose by 1 for the month, but they're still below where they were a year ago.
You know, somebody who's suspicious, a truly suspicious mind, not like us, might say something like, you know, there might have been something behind that Venezuela gambit that we didn't really realize. It's a mess.
It is. I mean, you know, we hear the administration saying, well, we don't really use the Strait of Hormuz. You know, we're energy self-sufficient. So why is, if we're energy self-sufficient, I don't understand why our gas prices are going up. It doesn't make sense.
Well, there's supposedly our gas is of a different, I don't know what the word would be, viscosity or something like that. I don't know. But it's a different chemistry than other, you know, some petroleum is heavier, ours is supposedly lighter. And so we got to have some heavy into the mix, which means bringing some here.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Never fully understood it.
No. But it, you know, I understand what they charged me at the pump.
It's been a particularly bad week. I mean, a station I go by every day on Sunday was 409, Monday it was 419, Tuesday it was 429, and yesterday it was 439. So,
Yeah.
and right now I have less than a quarter of a tank because I said, well, I'll wait a day, maybe it'll drop back 5 cents, and it's gone the other way. So
You're an optimistic
eventually
fellow.
I'm going to have to
You are an optimistic fellow.
pay the high price or get stuck somewhere.
I guess.
You know.
Well, I got to admit, I'm topping off.
Yeah.
I admit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of that, we go down to our official inflation report.
Saw a little bit in March. Consumer prices were up 0.9%. Over the past year now, consumer prices are up 3.3 versus 2.4 the prior month. Core is also up. And producer prices for March were up 0.5%. That's a lot, 0.9 in a month, 0.5 in a month. And now we know prices are higher in April than they were in March. So next week when the April numbers come up, that's when we could see the really bad number.
Well, I bet you Trump was wishing that hiatus of the reporting that we had.
Yeah.
I bet you he's wishing
that continued.
But there's no way he can hide it because we see it
Right.
everywhere.
Right. I mean, leading economic indicators weak again, down 0.6%. Better in the last 6 months than the prior 6 months. So that's, slowly moving in the right direction. The two biggest components of that index, consumer expectations and the length of the work week, which make up 43% of the index, both of those were negative. So you can see that those 10 components are not equally weighted. And basically half of the index is based on what people do, because our economy is, basically 70% based on consumer spending. So,
What a country.
jobless claims still low, 214,000 for the last week in April. The first week in May, which came out, 189,000 layoffs. That was the lowest number since September of 1969
For layoffs.
for layoffs. Now, the size of the labor force is a lot bigger than it was in 1969. So that just goes to show you that there's fewer and fewer people to be let go. As with everything, it's where you are in the cycle. Sometimes too low a number is not good. I think that's where we are right now. The number is so low that it's telling you, so many people have been laid off in the past year or two, and there's less people to be laid off. So that's kind of a negative now, I think.
Okay.
You don't want extremes in any of these numbers.
You don't necessarily have a choice about that.
Right.
All right, the employment report.
Came out for March, 178,000 new non-farm payroll gains. So you can see that the monthly gains are not equaling the weekly layoffs, right? Mm-hmm. So the labor force is continuing to shrink. In the month of March, it shrunk by almost 400,000.
When you say shrunk, those people didn't get abducted to other
No,
places.
they either ran out of benefits or are no longer looking for work.
I'd like to know what a person does when they've run out of benefits and I'm not going to look anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a good. Along with what was the other task I gave you about those?
Sell in May.
Yeah.
Yes.
Find out where these people are going. Follow them home.
Mm-hmm.
Say, okay, you had your last day of benefits. What are you doing now?
Yeah.
That's your next job.
Well, I think
He's not going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just teasing the guy.
You do hear from people that say that they've stopped looking because they can't find what they want, or they're not going to go to work for blank dollars an hour. You do hear that,
Yeah, but what do you do then?
That I don't know.
I mean, I believe it or not, I was once a young man.
Okay.
I know this is going to be a shock.
All right.
And I had a kind of interesting work history in that you know, I got out of the Army, I did certain different things, tried different things. But the one thing I did know was I knew I had to get some source of income somewhere.
Yeah.
So being the naive little fellow I am, I know, I have to wonder how people get along without having some source of income. So, when you hit me with a number,
396,000 was
Yeah.
the exact number, yeah.
that causes me to say, Mike's got to figure this out for me.
Yeah. It's a big number. I mean, and so that plays into, well, wait a minute, you said that's really negative. How come unemployment fell? Because unemployment only counts people who are receiving benefits or who say they're still looking for work. If you're no longer looking for work, you're not considered to be in the labor force, so you're not considered to be unemployed. So the unemployment rate fell to 4.3 from 4.4. So if you're watching the news station, that's Channel 7,
Thank you.
and they say, great news on the labor front, unemployment fell to 4.3% in March. The first impression is, ooh, that's good news. Oh, well, it might be good news, but it could also be bad news. And in this case, when you look at these other numbers, it's bad news because people have left,
Not having been in the situation where I was one of those statistics,
Yeah.
what do? They say, excuse me, Mr. Jones, or Mrs. Jones, or Ms. Jones, or whatever.
I think they're doing surveys.
Okay, so they're
Yeah.
doing, and how do they know that people are lying to them?
No, they don't, right?
People generally tell the truth.
Generally, people tell the truth. So you're starting to see some of these numbers definitely move in the bad category. Even some of the numbers that you would think on the surface are good, very low layoffs, falling unemployment, those are also moving now to the bad sign. That would be great if the size of the labor force increased and the unemployment rate fell. That would be really good.
Yeah.
But the opposite happened. So again, another sort of warning sign. But I don't think anything dramatic is going to happen in May, and maybe we'll be further along with the Iran situation.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Optimist here, Michael Carnevale, is predicting nirvana in the coming month. Or I'm sort of reading it wrong. Anyway, we hope to see you in another month, if we can afford the gas to get here.
Correct.
But we wish you do have a good rest of the May month. Happy Mother's Day, Happy Father's Day, whatever.
Memorial Day weekend.
Memorial Day weekend. Don't forget, there's the Asparagus Festival up in West Brookfield, if you're hungry, this week from Saturday. And so it's Mike Carnevale and Richard Morco saying, have a happy month.